Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live. Back in the saddle after a couple of days off. And at least from our fun together, Len and Judy, Edmonton, good morning. I don't know what the weather's like there, but we got snow overnight. Nativity, good morning. And welcome. We appreciate it. Okay, scroll is going pretty slow so far. Lynn, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Jackie. And Janet. Welcome. Carol, West Virginia. Lori. I was close to West Virginia there. Nativity. Rosalinda, Teresa, good morning. Rosa. And Mike from Norland. And John, our friend from Elgin, Illinois. Tracy, how are you? Laurie Lee, Ventura, California. Stephanie, good morning. Bob and Steph are together. And we appreciate you guys. Frida, Brahim, Linda, Annette, Nouveau-Brunswick, Kathy from Windsor, Dr. Troy, my buddy out in Newfoundland. Good to have you on. Cheryl, Karen, Indianapolis, Sandra from Aurelia, right? Kevin, Oshawa. We appreciate you guys. Another Karen. And Sandy from Chilliwack, British Columbia. Francis, good morning from Vaughan. Janice, Brampton. Clinton, how are you? Shelley, Thunder Bay. Rhonda, help me, Rhonda. Help. Rima, hi, Rima. Marilyn from Edmonton. Donna, Bell Valley. Couple more guys. Suzanne. And Jane from Tirana. You guys must be happy. Doreen, Australia. Manette, Karen, good morning. We appreciate you guys. Bonnie from Manitoulin Island. Beautiful. Jeanette. You see, Sandra said I was right about Aurelia. Norma, Texas, and Marine. Georgie, Halifax, right, Georgie? And Nellie says, she's back home. Barbara, Cape Breton, Norma. Okay, we got a few little topics I want to talk about. Sandy, Lee's, Ramo, how are you? Cecilia, right in our backyard in Sudbury. Anna, Getsy, no. Deb from Timmins. Wendy. I never see your name. I didn't even see Kevin's name. Is he on with us this morning? Brahim, I see your name. Micheline, Margaret, Eva, Linda. I love those Lindas. Meta, or Alain. Alan. Okay. Guys, I don't know. I don't know where. I'm always wondering where Kevin is. I can't see his name anymore. There you are, Kevin. I seen his name. Okay, here we go. Now, you know what? The food industry made this famous. Okay? And the world went for it in terms of eating. And that is the statement, everything in moderation. True or false? Yeah, it's absolutely true. And if you talk to any dietitian, nutritionist, pretty well, they'll tell you everything in moderation. Okay? And you know, a statement that I would make, and something I say a lot, it's not moderation we need in We don't need moderation in nutrition. We need elimination in nutrition. Okay? So I sort of coined that phrase, and there's a good reason for it. Okay? So everything in moderation. Even on our Facebook website, Facebook group, private group, I've seen that several times. Well, you know what? Everything in moderation. Well, look, okay? I do a lot of talks, okay, in and around, and I talk about addiction a lot, okay? Addicts, okay? Personally, I was in the prison ministry for about 35 years. And most of the people that I met that are incarcerated are addicts. And they are, it's drugs or alcohol or sex. There's a reason they're in there. I mean, they committed a crime, but most of them are addicts. So you can't say to them, well, moderation, right? You can't say to an alcoholic, just drink in moderation. You can't say to someone that's hooked on drugs, well, just a moderation. You see, today, we're carboholics, okay? Our society has created a whole, thing we call metabolic syndrome. And at the end of the day, what is it? It's being a carboholic. We live on them. And, we're up to 200 pounds of sugar a year on average, okay? Doesn't mean you're doing it. Doesn't mean I'm doing it. But if I could get a patient in my office and I showed them that they had metabolic syndrome, their triglycerides were up, their HDL was down, their A1C was up, I used to tell them, well, now it's no longer moderation in your diet, it's elimination in your diet. And you got to come to grips with the fact you're a carboholic. And that's never an easy conversation, but, it's a serious conversation because we're talking about your health. We're talking about people that are on the Titanic. If you're on the Titanic, who cares about the weather? Worry about the iceberg. Okay? Anyway. But here's an article. It's just to show you, okay? Just to show you what's happening. How soda destroys the body in a day, and people, they drink soda. Now, it's not only the sugar. Sugar, of course, right? You got about, the average soda has 8 to 10 to 12 teaspoons of sugar in it. Out of the, let's say it's 16 ounces, you got about 2 to 3 ounces in there that is sugar. It's unreal. Your body goes into panic when you give it that much sugar. And it's unbelievable because you're so wonderfully made that your body, okay, is smarter than we are. Your body knows that sugar is toxic. Your body knows that you don't need sugar. Your body knows that. How do I know that? Because your body has insulin. And insulin's main job is to take sugar out of your bloodstream. It just can't stay there. And the food industry have duped. They've duped the world into moderation. You need sugar. You know how many times I hear that in a week? Well, doc, you need glucose. Well, you don't need, you might need it because at the end of the day, your body will turn steak into a fuel. But you don't need sugar, honey. You just don't. Now, again, I'm not saying that we have to leave the planet. All I'm telling you is how your body works. Our bodies are smarter than we are. Because the food industry, you go up and down those grocery store aisles, and what do you have? Everything in there just about. I can hardly think of a thing in those middle aisles of the grocery stores that you should be eating. Now, you can drink coffee. Okay? You can get coffee at the grocery store. All I'm saying is, it's craziness. So, anyway, this article I was reading on soda, okay? And this is the soda. It's not diet soda, although I don't recommend that at all. You know, I used to tell people, and in practice, and I still do it today, look, it's probably better by an inch, not much, drinking a diet soda compared to a real soda, okay? None of them are good. And this is why I always talk about you can form a habit in 3 weeks. Get off soda. Get off soda. They're no good for you. The ones with sugar, well, because of metabolic syndrome, I just have to lean that the sugary ones are worse. But pick your poison. That's what I mean. Okay? Pick your poison. But, okay? Metabolic syndrome. It raises your blood sugar and your insulin response immediately. And it lasts for several hours. That's the problem. If you eat a steak, you have an egg, you have cheese, you know what your insulin response is? Not much. It's slow. Your insulin's on a holiday. But you have sugar, especially if, I travel with my 3 youngest grandsons, And it's so good because they're so smart. But we were talking about, Grandpa, why do you say that drinking sugar is worse? Well, I said, look, you're not meant to drink. You were never meant to drink fruit. You were meant to eat fruit. Okay? There's where moderation is good. Because we live in a different world, so even like fruits, you can eat them, okay? Berries, you want to have an orange, I'm not going to scream blue murder. Not at all. Don't live on it. That's what I tell people. Those are God's candies. And I said, but the difference is when you drink sugar, metabolically, it is a disaster. Your blood sugar spikes crazy. I've often talked to you about, you go into all these you wonder how coffee shops survive. Even with kids. Why would a kid go into, a coffee shop? Why would even a young person? They're drinking coffee. I said, good, they're getting my memo. No, they're not getting my memo. They're drinking those sugary drinks. They're the worst thing. Metabolically, because What that fructose does is head right to your liver. Right to your liver. And it creates a cascade of problems immediately. High blood sugar, high insulin response, inflammation, fatty liver. Doesn't take long to make a fatty liver. You know, if you don't think we live in a different world, you come back with me into the 1950s. I'm going to tell you. In the 1960s, I'm going to tell you. And even into the 70s, there was no such thing as non-alcoholic fatty liver. It just didn't occur. Were people drinking soda? Yeah, but they weren't living on it. And the worst thing that happened, the soda companies, Pop, Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, what did they do? In 1980, what changed the goalposts as far as fatty liver? What changed? They changed sugars. They changed to high fructose corn syrup. That's what's in your soda. And it's terrible. It creates a cascade of problems, especially in the liver. And when your liver is the recipient of that high fructose corn syrup, almost invariably triglycerides go up. So what happens then? Well, if your triglycerides are going up, you know, you think it's nothing, but, you know, drinking a soda, but you know what? Your triglycerides are going up. Now a person, even a young person, is putting themselves at risk of developing heart disease. Liver, heart. Liver, brain. Triglycerides, I mean, we all may have triglycerides, but when they get elevated, and they will get elevated in a real hurry with soda drinking, with those sugary fructose drinks, apple juice and orange juice and all that stuff. That's the worst stuff. Drinking sugar. Triglycerides go up, even in a day. Brain damage. Vascular. You know, we all know what what it does to teeth. I've said this a lot of times. You know, if you don't think sugar is toxic, a lot of people don't understand that. I said, ask a dentist. That's how you get cavities. A dentist makes a living fixing those things. But a dentist knows sugar will destroy the enamel on your teeth. Everybody knows that, I think, don't you? You know, you learn that in, what, grade 1? You know, they tell you, well, brush your teeth. Yeah, I know, brush your teeth. I guess so. It's a good idea. Okay, but at the end of the day, any dentist, anybody knows that sugar destroys your enamel. Well, I'll tell you what else it destroys. It destroys your gut. It destroys your stomach. It destroys your liver. It destroys your bones. It destroys your brains. It destroys your kidneys. Again, last night, somebody asked the question, and guys, I got no problem. You want to send me your blood work? Send me your blood work. I mean it. I'll give you my pontification on it. You know, don't send me 10 pages because I don't look at it. I'm sorry. I'm looking for my biomarkers. About 8 of them. And that's what I want to see. Okay? But someone on there, again, Doc, my husband's got kidney problems. Isn't it protein? Isn't it protein? No, it's not protein. You know, it sounds simple, doesn't it? You got protein in your urine, okay? And your doctor, or you got any stress on your kidney, and your numbers are changing in kidney blood work, and they blame steak. Oh, you're eating too much steak, man. That's going to, you know, you got protein. Your protein has gone up. Your kidney function's not working properly. Hello? Have you not got the memo? Even urologists, have you not got the memo? You know, does it have to slap you in the face? Ask a diabetic. Who's on dialysis? Diabetics. Why? Sugar left unattended in the bloodstream. Sugar left unattended in the bloodstream will destroy circulation, blood vessels. It will damage them. This is why even when you think of heart disease, not only are you getting bad elevated triglycerides, okay, fat balls going through your bloodstream. That's what triglycerides are. Fat balls. 3 of them. Okay? It's an unholy trinity. Let me tell you that. Okay? Those fat balls. And I do this to my brain. And doctors, they don't even look at triglycerides. They're so enamored with cholesterol, total cholesterol, and LDL cholesterol. They don't even triglycerides unless they're elevated, you know, out of whack. But even then, ooh. So kidneys, it's not steak. It's another S, sugar. Because sugar left unattended destroys blood vessels rapidly, guys. Rapidly. It starts with those little capillaries. Those little hair-like, I mean, that's the size of them. They're take out a strand of hair. I won't do it to me. I don't have enough of them. Okay? Every one of my hairs that you see on this head is precious to me. It's precious to God too, apparently. Okay? So I'm not using one of mine. Okay? But take out a little hair and look at it and go, oh, that's the size of a capillary. Very small, isn't it? I mean, think about it. Red blood cells, here's what happens, okay? They have to line up one by one. They can't go in twosies, okay, or threesies. They can't get through the capillaries. They have to line up one at a time to go through a capillary. Sugar in that capillary left there will destroy the capillaries rapidly. And my friend, that's why you have so much kidney problems. It's blood supply. And when you think of sugar, okay, remember this, 2005, diabetes of the brain, Alzheimer's. That's what they called it, type 3 diabetes. Well, they scrubbed that as fast as they could. They took that research and buried it. Type 3 diabetes. I told a physician this weekend, said, 2 things. Here's what I said to a physician. Okay? In all due respect. I said, you're old enough. What do they call What did they call diabetes when you were before medical school? But you graduated around the same time as me. What did they call diabetes back then? He couldn't remember. I said, you're eating too much sugar. I said, they called it sugar diabetes. I said, why did they change that name? Think about it. Why did they change the name from sugar diabetes to type 2 adult onset diabetes? Who did that? Who did that? I'm waiting for an answer. Why did they do it? Why? Number one. And who? And he looked at me like I had two heads. But he said, yeah, they used to call it sugar diabetes. I said, you couldn't even, I said, you know what? People don't even know that. Because the food industry, they're into moderation. And you can't call it sugar diabetes if you want to have moderation for a diabetic. True or false? Think about it for a minute. My father, you have to understand, had diabetes in 1968. And my dad said, son, I didn't even know what diabetes was. I was in high school. My father said to me, son, listen. And I became a Linda. I'll never forget it. Son, I'm a diabetic. I'm a sugar diabetic. Can't have sugar. What? In 1968? Yeah, that's what my dad told me. Can't have sugar, son. Why? I'm a sugar diabetic. Holy moly. That shocked the living life out of me. My dad never had another soda. My dad never had another ounce of sugar that I've ever seen him use. He said, son, I'm a sugar diabetic. And my dad used to tell his patients, see this strip in your urine? See that dark green that's there? I did it too. You're a diabetic. What? That's sugar in your urine. It's spilling over. That means you're really a well, my doctor says I'm not. It's my blood sugar it's high, but it's still normal. I said, nah, your body is a diabetic. Why? Because your body's smarter than you are. Oh, I used to enjoy telling patients that. You got to understand, it was fun coming into my office. Well, maybe not so much fun for the patient, but I made sure I had fun every day. I loved being in practice. I did. I love people, one. I'm a people guy. Two, I love to get the message out. And so I used to get the message out. Talked about the Titanic. Talked about the cat. You have an allergy. And I used to tell them, you see this green, dark green on this chem strip of your urine? You're spilling sugar. Your body's smarter than you are. But you're in big doo-doo. And you might not think it. But I'm going to try and get your attention today. You and sugar don't get along. You like it, it hates you. And you're an addict. So what do addicts do? They don't do moderation. Well, if they do, they're in deep trouble. They do elimination. So today, say bye-bye, lo. Okay, say it to sugar. I met somebody last week that told me, you told me that 25 years ago. Okay? And I got the memo, Dr. Martin. I got the memo. I said, good for you. Good for you. You know, guys, it's just not that complicated. I know we like to make things complicated, but there's some things that are not complicated. If it's sugar diabetes, because let's go back to that name, type 2 adult onset diabetes, brought to you by the food industry in cahoots with the pharmaceutical industry. I hate to be negative, but they don't want to cure your diabetes. They want to manage it. There's a lot of money in management. A lot of money in management, right? And moderation. Hey, let's do a podcast on that. I like that. M's, moderation and management. Ooh, I get a headache is what I get. It bothers me. It's simple. Not easy. Okay? It's not easy. We're surrounded, you're surrounded by food. We live in a culture of food, fast foods, and you know what I mean? We never, as a family, okay? Well, we were 11 in our home. So think of the 1950s and the early 70s. We didn't go to a restaurant. What? And there were no real fast foods. Fast was making yourself some toast at the house. You know what I mean? There was no fast. My kids look, it's not my kids look at me, it's my grandchildren that look at me. Like, Grandpa, when were you born again? Noah was on the earth? They can hardly believe it. My friend, it's not moderation, it's elimination. Now, finish with this. Form new habits. Today, agree with me. Okay? Let's come into agreement. Those who are listening, new listeners or whatever, don't let anybody tell you differently. Sugar is so destructive, and your body is smarter than you are. It really is. Change habits. Stop especially drinking any kind of sugar. Just stop it. Again, I didn't say it was easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. I understand that. No good habit is easy to form. It isn't. But you can do it. Millions have. Thousands of my patients did it. They did it. I remember, you know how many times on second visit or third visit follow-ups in my office that I gave patients high five? I said, put your hand up. I'm giving you a high five. You can do it, man. You can change. Your body is waiting on you to switch fuels. Learn how to drink water and make it satisfying, and learn how to drink coffee. There's your 2 drinks. And if you insist, I'll give you tea. Well, don't put any stinking sugar in it. Dr. Martin, what about honey? Stop that. You don't need it. I don't like it. Well, you know what? There's a lot of things you don't like in life. I don't like it. I don't like water. Suck it up, Buttercup. You can do it. Toughen up. Desire. I did this with the young people in North Carolina. Desire, determination, and discipline. Man, it affects every area of your life. Okay. Okay, guys, we got a great week coming up. We really do. Send in your questions for Question and Answer Friday. Okay? And anything else I want to talk to you about? If you're not a member of the private Facebook group, why wouldn't you join that group? It's so good. We have so much fun there. And every once in a while, I either post in there or I go in there and answer a question right there. Okay? It's not that I'm not on it. Okay? But I love the back and forth and all the ideas and whatever. What a community. So great. Okay, guys, we love you. We'll talk to you soon.